Welcome back to the Humble Market Timer YouTube channel. Once again, if you enjoy the content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Today's video, in light of Bitcoin reaching all-time highs, I wanted to do a video on cryptocurrency treasury companies. Now, cryptocurrency treasury companies have been all the rage in the past few months. Companies have been releasing press releases stating that they're going to be starting some sort of cryptocurrency treasury, and stock prices have been just going through the roof, going up 1,000%, 2,000%, 3,000%. And the most common crypto treasury is the Bitcoin treasury, but there have been other treasuries that companies have been issuing via altcoins, and for the purpose of this video, I will focus on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana treasury companies, although there have been some other companies that have established treasuries with XRP as well as Binance. To start off with the Bitcoin treasury, I want to first show you this particular person on X, bitcointreasury.net. They do a phenomenal job of, on a weekly basis, updating how many tokens of Bitcoin that various companies throughout the world have as a part of their holdings. And here's a list of the top 100 that they keep a running tally of. As you can see, by far, MicroStrategies has by far and away the most Bitcoin. They have almost 600,000 Bitcoin. I want you to make note of who number 2 is. Number 2 is Myra Holdings, and number 3 is XXI, which is currently undergoing a merger with Cantor Equity, ticker symbol CEP. I'll get into that one a little more deeply in a second here, but I wanted to make a distinction between MicroStrategies and Myra. Myra is more so known as being a Bitcoin miner, and what you will notice that when they are being valued by the market, the investment community looks at these companies that hold these cryptocurrencies as either a cryptocurrency proxy or if they are a linked operator. MicroStrategies, they are listed sort of as, they're considered to be a Bitcoin proxy, and as a result, they are given a much higher premium than you see a company like Myra, who is more of a BTC linked operator because they mine for Bitcoin. So you will notice that in their valuation, Myra is not given a premium. They're pretty much valued at the value of their Bitcoin, whereas MicroStrategies, they are valued at 2 times the value of the Bitcoin. So you have to make a distinction between companies that are acting as proxies for cryptocurrency and then those companies that are linked operators. But you can see this is the list of 100. The top 2, in my opinion, are MicroStrategies. Here's a picture of the chart. As you can see, it has had steady movement. It will move as Bitcoin moves, typically. Now, it's not stride for stride, but if Bitcoin goes up, eventually MicroStrategies will also go up. And as I stated before, MicroStrategies trades at a 2 times premium to what the valuation of all the Bitcoin that it holds. Now, I talked about ticker symbol CEP. They're undergoing, Cantor Equity Partners is undergoing a merger with XXI. I wanted to kind of show you this. people kind of get confused about this particular company. If you'll notice here in this article, they talk about Cantor and the merged company. But if you notice here down at the bottom, it says post-convert ownership heavily favors insiders, with public shareholders retaining just 2.7%. So that means what is traded or what is available to the public, or what is represented under the ticker, that will be CEP, only represents 2.7% of the valuation of the Bitcoin that they hold. So even though you can see here that they hold about 37,000 Bitcoin, I think they're estimated they'll get to about 42,000 Bitcoin, which is the third most of any company in the world. The rub is that what is available to the public is only 2.7% of that. So even though they have approximately $4 billion to $5 billion of Bitcoin, the actual publicly traded entity only is a part of 2.7% of that, which is about 100 million. Now that's still a lot, but people tend to look at that big 37,000 figure and say, oh, that's what the company will be valued at. But in actuality, the publicly traded aspect of that merger, you're only getting a percentage of that. So keep that in mind as well when you're looking at these companies. That's kind of a breakdown of the top two Bitcoin treasury companies. Next, you have the Ethereum treasury companies. Here's a list of the top 10, I believe, or so of the Ethereum. There aren't as many of the Ethereum treasury companies, but it is starting to get more recognition and notoriety, and more companies are coming forth stating that they will have these types of treasury companies. The top name, in my opinion, is SharpLink Gaming, and the other is Bit Digital. As you can see here, you have, this is a chart of SharpLink Gaming. They have great management in that one of the people responsible for the treasury is Mr. Lubin. He's one of the founders of Ethereum, so a lot of credibility there. As you can see, when the press release came out that they were going to create an Ethereum treasury, the stock spiked, and then all of a sudden you saw a huge drop. The drop occurred when they started to dilute the shares, which they used to raise money to buy the Ethereum. So what you see is the massive drop from dilution, and then once the shares have been churned through and diluted, you are now starting to see that it's starting to pick up steam again. And in my opinion, when you're kind of weighing what is the best of the stocks of the treasury companies, whether it be in Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana, I think you need to look at really three things. You need to look at first how many of the cryptocurrency they hold. Then you also want to look at, in my opinion, the valuation of the company, as far as how the market is valuing the company as compared to what the actual net valuation is of the cryptocurrency that they hold. And then you want to look at the share structure of the company. If the share structure is smaller, meaning they don't have a whole lot of shares outstanding, then those companies tend to trade a little bit better than the thicker companies that have a large number of shares outstanding. So be on the lookout for those three things when you're determining what type of company that you may be interested in, as far as if you wanted to use it as an investment. Also keep in mind for Ethereum Treasury, Bitmine, ticker symbol BMNR. It's a new one. They have not started buying Ethereum yet, but it's one of the guys that's leading it up is Tom Lee. He's on CNBC and TV a lot. So because he's such a visible face, and that he is also the face now of Bitmine, that stock has skyrocketed from the thought of it being a Ethereum Treasury company. You will see as time passes that price will fall dramatically, and then once it catches its footing, it may then start to rise again. But you be on the lookout for Bitmine as well. But in my opinion, the lead dog is SharpLink Gaming, and number 2 right now is Bit Digital. Bit Digital, much thicker, much higher share structure, so that is why it's number 2. And then last, you have the Solana treasury companies. It is led by DeFi Development Corporation, DFDV. Then you have, I think it's pronounced UP or YUPC or Y or UPC. I think UPC maybe. Not sure how it's pronounced, but the ticker symbol is UPXI. This particular image was back in late May. I think right now both of those companies just have under 700,000 Solana in their treasury companies. So both companies have a ton of Solana. Number 1, in my opinion, is let me find. Let's type in DFDV. I believe number 1 is DFDV, DeFi Development Corp, and number 2 is UPXI. The reason why I have DFDV as number 1 is because they did a phenomenal job of accumulating a large amount of Solana without having to do massive dilution with their share structure. So they still have a very appealing share structure where they can even add, and it would not to dilute the share structure to buy more Solana, and it wouldn't make the share structure too thick. They did a phenomenal job in their accumulation of Solana without having to shareholders deal with so much dilution. So that is why DFDV is the top Solana treasury company. Keep an eye on these companies. Things are going great with them now. We're in a crypto bull market. It'll be interesting to see what type of effect these companies have on the price of Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin if we enter a bear market in cryptocurrency, and they will maybe have to be forced to sell some of their holdings to raise money because we're in a crypto winter. But right now, since things are going so well in cryptocurrency, we're in a crypto bullish market right now. Things are looking great for these companies, but you just don't know how long it'll last. Hope you liked the video. If you like it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.